Buzz Lightyear to Star Command. I've got an AWOL Space Ranger.
It's getting pretty hard to tell the difference between a Disney animated film and a Pixar one these days. So we're taking a look at the times they were copying each other's movies, and a few times they recycled their own ideas.
Everything okay?
Everything is great. She's just excited.
Would you rather be a red panda or a sea monster? We're starting off with two Pixar comparisons, Turning Red and Luca. They're basically the same movie. Change our minds. Turning Red and Luca both had a ton of overlap in their development periods. So it's hard to say who was copying who. But these movies definitely have more than a few similarities, and it's kind of uncanny. From overprotective and controlling mothers to May and Luca both changing forms and even sharing a similar style nose, there's a lot that tie these two movies together. The fathers in the movies don't tend to speak a whole lot, but when they do, they're the first to accept the kids for who they are and don't try to change them.
People have all kinds of sides to them, May.
And let's not forget the overarching plot of our friends trying to raise money. Miriam and Julia rock a similar style with those curly orange locks, that beanie, and personality. We can't forget to include the strange aunts and uncle,
Good thing you sent for me when you did, yeah?
popping up to protect the protagonists from themselves.
Your family is here now, Mimi, and we will take care of everything.
We have a conspiracy theory.
You do know no one ever listens to those.
I know that.
Just from looking at Pixar's Lightyear trailer, we could spot a few similarities between it and both Disney's Meet the Robinsons and Big Hero 6.
What?
Maybe it's just a coincidence that our characters Buzz and Louis get trapped in a future with the children of their future family and friends. A future that's littered with creepy robots with red glowing eyes. Or maybe we all have a collective imagination of what the future could look like thanks to years of unoriginal media, and the color red representing evil. Either way, Disney and Pixar are drawing from the same sources, but the biggest similarity we found was between Socks and Baymax.
Hello, Buzz. I am Socks, your personal companion robot.
Hello, I am Baymax, your personal healthcare companion.
You can't tell us they aren't the same character. But we're not mad about it.
Harry baby.
Flower, gleam, and glow. Let your power shine. Looking at Disney's Encanto, if you replaced Isabella's vines with hair, you would get Rapunzel from Tangled. We're pretty certain Isabella's character is either meant to reference Rapunzel at the bare minimum, or to parody her. Had they have not completely changed Isabella's character arc, the stories would be much more similar too. In a cutscene from Encanto, you can see Isabella escaping from her room to run away and meet up with her lover, much like Rapunzel propels down the walls of her tower. And we can't put it past you that both are dressed in purple dresses. Oh, also, Isabella is always swinging herself around Casita, much like Rapunzel does in the tower. Now, Encanto and Moana, on the other hand, do share a lot, including the same creative team and Lin-Manuel Miranda doing the score for both. The premise of both movies is the same. Mirabel and Moana set out on a journey to save their homes from destruction by restoring the magic. But obviously, the big difference is Moana must venture far from home, while Mirabel doesn't ever go all that far from hers.
Where are we going?
Home.
All underwater stories are bound to have some overlap. If Turning Red was a ripoff of Luca, and Luca was a ripoff of The Little Mermaid, then Turning Red and The Little Mermaid are also both the same story, right? Well, not exactly. The parts Luca borrowed from The Little Mermaid relate much more to the fish-out-of-water aspects of the story. We're going to take a deep breath and dive into the similarities.
Hey, relax. Breathe.
The surface is dangerous to sea life, the boats are mysterious, the protagonists collect human trinkets, their first attempts at walking are wobbly, their sidekicks claim to be experts, and nobody knows how to use a fork. But hey, at least Ariel gets to sleep in a bed. Even King Triton and Luca's mom have been super overprotective, sharing the same regrets and nearly the same line.
Do you think I was too hard on her?
Was I too hard on him?
Instead of a cool water dragon, let's make Sisu a weirdo. It worked for Mushu. There are a ton of similarities between Raya and the Last Dragon and other Disney and Pixar movies. Just to start with, Raya's sword is very similar to Mulan's. Of course, the inspiration for the dragons comes from a similar place, but whose idea was it to make both Sisu and Mushu quirky, weird sidekicks instead of cool and mysterious? Now, how do Raya and Moana compare? Their journey of restoring the magic to their homes, of course. Between Raya, Moana, and Encanto, we're starting to notice a trend. And you might find our last comparison a little bit weird, but we wanted to include it anyway. Raya totally took inspiration from The Incredibles. The movies share one similar element: troublemaking babies with special abilities.
A con baby?
A baby is an unlikely companion in an action-adventure movie. While Little Noi eventually teams up with Raya, Jack's set on antagonizing the raccoon in the backyard. We've got a perfectly good horse right here. No need to make another one. At the end of Into the Unknown, Elsa casts a spell that fills the sky with ice runes. Despite the cool color palette, we couldn't help but be reminded of the Lantern Festival from Tangled, where Rapunzel and Flynn are sitting in a boat singing, "I See the Light." And not only that, but the horses in Frozen look a lot like Maximus, don't they? Is there any chance that Hans's horse and Anna's are Maximus with a different coat? Who would you pick in a fight, Baymax or Mr. Incredible?
Showtime.
To not be able to see the similarities between Disney's Big Hero 6 and Pixar's The Incredibles is to be intentionally ignoring them. With a movie as perfect as The Incredibles, we can't blame the creative team of Big Hero 6 for ripping off the super tight costume gag. Disney's We Hope We Don't Wreck the movie for you. Disney's Wreck-It Ralph borrowed from Pixar's Monsters, Inc. for their unlikely team-up. Ralph has just been doing his job wrecking stuff for 30 years and minding his own business. Sully is the pride of his work, Monsters, Inc., roaring at children. Then along comes the cutesy little glitch Vanellope von Schweetz from another world.
I made it for you.
And a little girl from the human world, Boo. And these characters somehow weasel their way into the scary hearts of our favorite brutish characters.
Well, you almost blew up the whole mountain.
Right. That's a good note.
Sequels just can't be original. It's literally impossible. Wreck-It Ralph 2 and Pixar's Toy Story are the same story. Just as Woody is afraid of being replaced by Buzz Lightyear, the entire arcade is under threat of being replaced by shiny new equipment. And both franchises also have deceptive villain plotlines, with King Candy and Lotso the Purple Bear.
Beyond the halitosis you so obviously suffer from.
Andy, we'd like you to say hello to the Robinsons. Disney's Meet the Robinsons borrowed a quirky little joke from Pixar's Toy Story 2, which then became a huge meme. Both showcase a T-Rex's tiny arms, struggling to help them accomplish their goals.
I can't press the fire button and jump at the same time!
It's the circle of movies. Pixar's The Good Dinosaur is really just a rehash of The Lion King. The fathers take their sons for a midnight stroll through a field as a bonding moment for both. And then both fathers tragically fall to their demise while their sons look on. Arlo and Simba feel guilty about their father's passing, and then find themselves in strange territory, needing to get home. And this is where the Ice Age plot kicks in. Yes, we feel a little silly bringing in Ice Age, but did you hear? Blue Sky Studios was bought by Disney. Ice Age is a Disney franchise now. Arlo takes care of the lost child, Spot, and Manny the Mammoth returns the baby to her family. Number 12. Another water movie. You know what that means. Similar story elements exist between Pixar's Finding Nemo and Disney's The Little Mermaid. No, that does not make Turning Red similar to Finding Nemo just because Luca is similar to The Little Mermaid. Although, Darla and May are pretty similar in terms of hair color and annoyingness, but the comparisons end there. The shark chase scene in Finding Nemo feels like it borrows from The Little Mermaid. Ariel is swimming away with her thingamabobs in hand, but drops them to save Flounder. Marlin and Dory get the swimming goggles stuck in the shark's teeth, but the one moment that really cries ripoff to us is Bruce's fin breaking open the grates in the ship compared to the shark in The Little Mermaid chomping through the floorboards. This is the last time Monsters, Inc. will appear on this list, promise. Have you ever noticed that Sully has a similar design to the Beast from Beauty and the Beast? Really? You don't see it? The hunched shoulders, the fur, the horns, the thick eyebrows, the nose, oh, and the roar. Can't you just picture Lilo and Wally being BFFs? Yes, Wally reminds us a bit of Lilo and Stitch. We just can't shake it. Aliens come to the beautiful Hawaiian island of Kauai and run into eccentric tourists. Humans go to space and live life like they're on vacation among some broken robots. Robots that are reminiscent of Stitch's cousins, like Stop Go and Splat. Brother Bear and Tarzan have more than Phil Collins in common, and it feels like Brother Bear is kind of a cheap ripoff. Tarzan and Kenai are stuck between two worlds. They have to decide if they want to be part of the human world or embrace being part of the animal kingdom instead. And they both choose animals over people. But at least Tarzan gets a girlfriend out of the deal. Two worlds, one family. Kenai has to wait for the terrible sequel for a girlfriend. Okay, so it's hard to say whether some of these are the studios copying each other or if they just happen to have similar ideas. No story is truly original, and animated movies aimed at children recycle like 3 plots, so there's bound to be a ton of overlap. Are you surprised by some of these similarities, or do you think it's totally by coincidence? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and click that subscribe button for more awesome content.